Let's ride, outlaws. Welcome to Ghost Rider Intuition. My name is Bree. I'll be your judge, jury, and executioner here, as well as president of the Motorcycle Club. Today, we're going to be doing a reading for the Optimists. So, I did a little bit of a pre-shuffle, and the card that came out was Remembrance here. At the bottom of the deck, we have Ghosts with Regret and Death. The eternal cycle begins here. So, Optimists, you've definitely experienced a loss recently that may have really tested the limits of, you viewing the cup as half full. But with Remembrance here and the lamp, there's also the jack-o'-lantern in the background. So this is like you are currently being protected by your ancestors while you are being encouraged to explore the wildness that they didn't get to when they were here in life. As you do this, you're gonna find that you're gonna be healing old patterns. With the skeleton in reverse with strength, it's like you're gonna be healing old patterns of giving in when the going gets tough. Doing the things at this time that your ancestors didn't have the strength, the mental fortitude to do, whether that be because of internal failings or because of the general constraints of the time, like the social constraints of the time, the legal constraints of the times. With invisibility here, you're stepping into your authenticity and embracing your hidden talents. Ooh. This energy is strong, you guys. They're really here right now. Your ancestors, Optimists, want you to know that they are so proud of you right now. Like, I wish you could see what I'm seeing in my mind's eye. It's like there's a group of them and they're just cheering you on. So happy for you. What else is here? What else? We have the Dress of Alchemy with Release Your Power here. Master number 33. And then we have Mildew Fairy with Cleanup Time. So you're being encouraged to cleanse and clear your space at this time in order to maintain a high frequency and to continue stepping into that wild side and releasing your power. It is through doing this that you are alchemizing those past constraints here and moving forward. With this Dress of Alchemy card as well, there is she's got a dragon in a bottle here. So it's like you've been keeping a tight leash on that primal side of yours, but as you clean and clear out those old energies that are keeping you stuck, this is gonna start to become more apparent here. What else? With number 36, Mend the Broken Heart Fairy, you're going to be healing from heartache as well. So it's like cleansing out old emotional baggage. This is also talking to those of you optimists who don't necessarily feel the most connected to your loved ones. On the other side, I know that I see it all the time, that there's people who are like, how do I cut the cords from my ancestors? How do I separate myself from that ancestral energy because of the sins that these people have committed in their life? But you are being encouraged to remember here that death is the great equalizer. The things that matter over here, you can't take it into the beyond with you. Which is, easier said than done, because, our 3D mind, our 3D reality is to basically have things maintain a constant shape, a constant vibration. However, as you work to heal your broken heart through this ancestor work, even if you can't bring yourself to work with the immediate ancestors that I was just telling this to someone as well the other day. If you think about it, your ancestral tree is so vast. You have 2 parents, 4 grandparents, 8 great-grandparents. It's just an exponential increase. The chances of you not finding anything to resonate with your ancestors is so low. Even if you don't get on with everybody, there is, with absolute certainty, at least one, even if it's somebody from, thousands of years ago that you align with. So take the time to pay homage to those people. get some from the past life oracle. Man, they turned my music off. What the hell? Let's see. Knighthood, so I'm not gonna take that one. Any other messages from the ancestors for my optimists? Ancestor messages for the optimists. We have monk or nun, as well as high priest or high priestess. So as you step into your spiritual power, these are the ancestors I'm seeing that are really coming forward to assist you at this time. I'm hearing that they lived a lifestyle of piety, scribe or writer. This is giving me like medieval time frame here. So this could be people that existed around the time of the Crusades. Because I definitely saw Celtic at the egoic aspect of this. With leaving and travel. So it's like these are Celtic ancestors that were driven out by the Crusades. High priests, high priestesses of like Druidism. What are they here to assist with? And I definitely saw knighthood when I was shuffling too, so this is definitely giving crusades here. So it's like you're picking up where they left off. And also conversely, if this is an ancestor who was a monk or a nun of the church, or like a warrior monk of sorts, you're ascending the religious constraints placed upon them and returning back to true connection with the earth, true connection with the divine instead of dogma. Let's get one from the shamanic healing oracle. We have unlimited possibilities. Yeah, so this is like leaving behind the limited view of organized religion. Transformation and abundance. And transmuting any sort of poverty pacts made in the past. So like monks and nuns definitely renounce you know, the worldly pleasures, the worldly abundance here, despite being surrounded by environments that drip in opulence. Like thinking about medieval churches, like that's where all the gold was, that's where all the silver was. But the people that actually lived there lived a life of modesty. So it's like you're stripping the illusions of maintaining an ascetic lifestyle. And instead tapping into the abundance and the transformation that brings into your life as you move into balance here and develop more psychically. This is like for those of the optimists that are working in any sort of spiritual capacity. It's like leaving behind the notion that you don't deserve to receive for the services that you give and the services that you provide, because you know this is labor too, and in some ways it's even more laborious than working a normal 9 to 5, because you know you are, think about like, you know, like priests and stuff like that, like they, on top of whatever, you know, baggage they personally have in their life, they also have to maintain a congregation. And then, you know, there's the whole confession aspect of it too. Like, you know, you hear people's darkest secrets and you hear them at their lowest, because you know the sad reality of it is that nobody wants to go to a church most times when they're you know, when life is all well. Most people go to confession, to church, when things are kind of going to shit, or I've already gone to shit. So it's like transmuting that energy that can really be destabilizing. And then on top of, you know, having to deal with that energy, you have to find the solution, and then you have to you know, be the counselor. So it's like you're wearing a lot of different hats here. Yeah. Let's see, let's get a message from the crows for my optimists. Message from the crows for the alchemists. We have preparation, distance, and exposed. Let's read from the book for these. Here in the Seattle area, we have lots of ferries, and these smart birds have mastered the ferry's schedule. The crows know when the boat will return, on which side of the road, and the cars will disembark. While the ferry is crossing the sound, the birds harvest the clams from the nearby beach. They bring the clams over to the ferry landing and strategically place the clams just right so that when the cars leave the boat, they run over the shells, breaking them apart. Preparation speaks to getting ready for something you know is on the horizon and planning for it accordingly. It's about getting all your ducks in a row, or in this case, clams, so that you achieve the most beneficial outcome. We have distance, number 14. To get the lay of the land, sometimes you need to take a look from a distance. Distance indicates that you would be best served by taking a step back so that you can see the big picture. You may be focusing too narrowly on one area while there is a whole world out there to explore. You may need to consider if growth within a situation or a relationship is at risk of being stunted due to being overcritical or nitpicky? Are you able to see the potential even if there are a few flaws? Of course, you might find distance appears when you are too focused on one positive aspect of a situation or event while missing all of the negative outcomes that may potentially exist. Distance asks if you are too close to a situation to remain impartial or unbiased. You might benefit from taking a leave of absence or literally putting some distance between you and the situation by taking a trip. Exposed. Alone and unprotected, the fledgling is vulnerable to attack. Exposed may indicate that you are being thrust into the spotlight and potentially not in a good way, depending on the circumstances. As a result, you may feel helpless and fear possible criticism. Exposed may also point to an open and free opportunity for the taking, as there will not be much in the way of the opposition. Exposed speaks to the feelings that surface as a result of feeling vulnerable. Are you comfortable putting yourself out there? Does facing criticism cause you to freeze up? What opportunities have you possibly missed because of a fear of being seen? Exposed may also present itself as a call to examine your situation more carefully as a piece of valuable information is becoming clearer. Something or someone may expose their flaws or weakness, and this may prove to be beneficial information in the future. So with preparation and distance here, it's picking up on your ancestors are telling you that you're going to be going on a journey soon, especially with leaving and travel having been here. It's like you've departed from a group after an exposure. An exposure of a predator within a space. Okay, so what I'm picking up is that these monk ancestors and your high priest and priestess ancestors are coming forward to help you to gain more confidence in leaving behind negative systems and negative organizations here, where in the past, once you took that vow, you were bound to your convent, bound to the monastery, bound to the church. This is the freedom to choose. Powerful stuff. Powerful stuff. Just make sure that you're choosing correctly and choosing wisely. Take the time to truly assess the options and what it is that you're wanting. One from the Plant Oracle, and then we'll close out this message for the Optimists. What messages do you have for the Optimists? We have the Angel's Trumpet, number 1. Known to some as the Datura tree because the tree-shaped flowers appear so similar to Datura intoxica, Angel's Trumpet or the brugmansia tree, is definitely its own plant. Similar to datura, it gives off an intoxicating scent, though repulsing to some, and it works deeply in the realm of dreams. Angel's trumpet can help you to fly in your dreams like an angel or bird, dealing with death, sexuality, and rebirth. Angel's trumpet embodies the enchantress with seductive and mesmeric qualities. As a deadly poison, Angel's trumpet can be used in cursing, but in the South America ayahuasca tradition, some have been known to add the flower to a mix of the psychoactive brew when doing work in ancestral healing. Folklore says they grow in graveyards, though there is not a lot of evidence of that. Today, like many trumpet-shaped flowers, we associate it with receiving information and messages, in particular from the dark goddesses, ancestors, and spirit allies. Angel's trumpet relays the truth that is hard to hear but necessary to receive. As a spirit ally, Angel's trumpet helps us with any transition or transformation where we have to let go and step consciously into the unknown. This is its gift as a poison, helping us to process death and death-like experience in life with awareness. This plant spirit is particularly helpful when we are resistant to change but know it's for our greater good, helping us surrender to the process and let go of our attachments to how we think it should be. Angel's trumpet can give us the message we need to choose the joy and the transformation, focusing on the new things are coming rather than what we have lost. Those who help others transition, like hospice worker and death doulas, would benefit greatly from taking this plant spirit as flower essence, which is non-toxic, and when appropriate, administrating the flower essence to those physically transitioning, even if it's administered topically. The ally can also be petitioned for lucid dreaming and astral flight. When you see Angel's trumpet come up in a reading, it's time to ask yourself what message you are not hearing that is urging you to transform. Look at the devils holding their ears as they cannot stand her holy sound. What devils or attachments do you need to cast out from your life, allowing you to evolve? Look to the graveyard. To what are you dying and to what are you being reborn? Let go and trust the process, as you have really no choice. How can the ancestors help you? Who in your lineage is willing to help you speak your truth or offer a message to you? The affirmation is, I listen to the voice of my soul and I am ready for change. Wow. Wow. So yeah, optimists, like, accept that which cannot be changed here. And tap into the energy of the ancestors to cast out the demons of the past that have been plaguing your bloodline here. Some of you may need to travel to Celtic lands in order to receive the messages that are contained within the blood that was spilled there. And to receive the codes of the grid in that area, if you know what I mean. Yeah. All right, and that's all that's coming through. Thank you for being here. Definitely check out the link in the description box below. If this resonated with you and you'd like to tap a little bit more into your own personal energy, we're doing a promotion on personal readings until the end of July. And you can find any other information that you need to know about me in that description box below. Thank you for being here. You honor me with your presence. And with that, I bid you adieu. Let's ride, outlaws.